A new report calls on Aurora police to change how they respond to certain calls after one man's deadly encounter with law enforcement. 9 News reporter Shalima Maharaj has a live report for us coming up here in just a few minutes.
Plus, the Colorado DMV says it is making changes after investigators accuse one driving school of committing systemic fraud.
Also this hour, state leaders looking for a way to bridge the gap as a rehab facility prepares to close its doors next month.
But first, let's take a live look outside right now from our Horsetooth Reservoir camera up in Fort Collins. Beautiful start to the day, some clouds out there. Today, though, there's going to be some disturbances in the sky around the afternoon. Katie's got the details here in just a moment. Thanks for joining us. I'm Corey Rose.
And I'm Drew Carney. Yeah, Katie came into the newsroom this morning with authority. Said, hey guys, heads up. There's going to be some weather to watch out for this afternoon. Here she is now to explain.
Hi, you guys. Good morning. Yes, unsettled. We will be watching in the late afternoon and early evening for the potential for isolated to scattered, strong and even severe storm activity. So I just want to get you prepared for what could happen this afternoon. We're right now in the low to upper 50s. It is dry. You saw that shot from Horsetooth Reservoir, some low-lying clouds, areas of fog up north, and you'll find sunshine in the mountains. So a range of conditions across Colorado. Wet weather still impacting Burlington out east. It is actively raining there. You can see that from our live radar picture. So what's going on for today? Why the changes? We saw the National Weather Service and the Storm Prediction Center upgrade us to a marginal risk of severe weather. And this is a big area. All areas in green from Pueblo, Colorado Springs, the metro up north into Fort Collins and Greeley have the risk for a few scattered storms capable of producing large hail is the main threat. It's marginal, so what that means, it'll be isolated severe thunderstorms possible, limited in duration and intensity. So not everywhere will see severe storm activity, but just over the I-25 corridor, we have an upper level trough. It's moving north over the Central Plains. You combine that with a little southeasterly flow and upslope, really just means there's more moisture, more instability, and potentials for storms through the afternoon, mainly between 3 and 9 o'clock. I'll break down Futurecast hour by hour where we could see some of those pop up coming up in just a few. Brianna.
Katie, thank you so much. We do have some stop-and-go traffic for anyone taking 225 near Mississippi for your Thursday morning. So it's around 7:02, I should say, and that's kind of what we see right around this time. I do want to switch things over to our main maps because we do have one crash that we are tracking close to the Conifer area. This is happening along Highway 285 near Doubleheader Ranch Road. It looks like this crash actually just popped up a couple of minutes ago. I am not seeing any significant slowdowns or any closures this morning, but as you can see, this is the only crash that we are tracking. You're probably going to see crews there on scene. Hopefully we have a CDOT camera to show you here in the next couple of minutes. But for now, just take advantage if you are taking 6th Avenue in the Lakewood area because you have the green light. Same story for Highway 36. A little bit busy in the Berkeley area taking I-76.
All right, we'll have more from Brianna and Katie here in just a few minutes. Meanwhile, the DMV is implementing new security measures after connecting, quote, widespread systemic fraud to a Colorado Springs driving school. According to an investigation from our news partners in Colorado Springs, the DMV said 40 people participated in this fraud. Investigators say driving tests were shortened, written exams were manipulated, state records were falsified, and fake IDs were used to reserve appointments. Because of all this, a third-party testing school called Academy School of Driving is now suspended. It's estimated that more than 450 people were impacted by those fraudulent activities.
A new law has been signed targeting aggressive drivers across the state. The goal of the legislation is to slow the rise in deadly traffic collisions. Data shows speeding is a primary factor in traffic deaths. That data comes from the Colorado State Patrol and the Colorado Department of Transportation. The bill introduces stricter penalties for dangerous driving. Drivers found speeding at 100 miles an hour or faster will have 4 points added to their driving record, and multiple speeding violations within a specific period of time will get you a summons and a complaint. The bill will go into effect on August 12th.
A new report says Aurora's mental health crisis response warrants a closer look after 3 deadly police shootings involving people in crisis over the past year.
This morning, we're hearing from the mother of a man who was shot and killed by police last month. 9 News reporter Shalima Maharaj joins us with the details. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. You might remember the name Amari Garlington, and that's because on April 9th, Aurora police as well as mental health clinicians responded to a reported behavioral health crisis involving the 23-year-old. Now, according to that report, they tried to de-escalate the situation. They tried to communicate with Garlington. He stabbed Officer Mark Moore and K9 Cyrus, and both were badly injured in that incident. Now, Officer Moore shot and killed Garlington. This this report focuses largely on that incident, and it says that Aurora needs to strengthen its mental health response so that fewer people in crisis end up in deadly encounters with police. Now, Garlington's mother says that she tried to get her son help before this incident happened. She believes that his death and the injuries sustained by Moore and his canine could have been prevented if her son had been admitted for care earlier on.
And I don't blame anything on the officers at all. And even weeks before, I had called or texted like the 988 line and like looked for mobile crisis units because I saw it coming. Had they put a hold on him that Wednesday, I don't believe any of this would have happened.
Now, Aurora's independent monitor says that next steps include better coordination right across the system. So that includes police, fire, hospitals, as well as city leadership. Now, we're also talking to Michelle, of course. We heard from her just now. She says that she hopes that her son's death affects real change, the kind of change that she says ultimately would have saved his life and would have also saved many others. Reporting live, Shalima Maharaj, 9 News.
Shalima, thank you. Today, the teen who was shot in the face by a former Mountain View Town Council member is slated to take the stand. Today marks day 2 of the trial. On the first day of Brett Metz's trial, jurors reviewed dramatic body camera footage of the aftermath of the shooting that happened in 2024. The teen and a friend wanted to take homecoming pictures on Metz's property in Jefferson County. According to court documents, Metz arrived after the boys returned to their car, boxed them in with his pickup, and pulled a gun. The gun went off, and the 17-year-old was shot in the face. The friend of the boy who was shot gave testimony yesterday.
We came to take photos. We were waiting for him to ask him. Okay. And he got out of his car and shot.
Shot? Sir,
Shot. Look at my windshield.
I was writing a letter to ask him if we could take photos on his car. I just heard a gunshot.
Metz's attorneys maintained that he lost his balance while trying to holster his gun and it mistakenly went off without him pulling the trigger. They say that model of weapon has a design flaw. Metz is facing assault, menacing, and weapons charges. The trial is expected to last through Friday.
Ministry leader Victor Marks is this year's unlikely and unconventional Republican candidate for Colorado governor. Some of his claims during his campaign include being part of more than 100 international rescue operations to save women and girls from abuse. He also says his team caught human traffickers at the U.S.-Mexico border and made them, quote, pay a price. 9 News anchor Kyle Clark asked Marks about that during a sit-down interview.
When you say the words, we caught them, do you mean your team caught them or you watched the Border Patrol catch them?
We identified them. We were by ourselves, and then we brought in Border Patrol.
And then you said, quote, we made them pay a price. What was the price that you made them pay?
Consequences through the Border Patrol.
Last night when you told the same story at your town hall, you said, we caught guys bringing kids in, they got their feelings hurt. You use that phrase, hurting people's feelings, frequently for acts of violence, right? Beating somebody up, shooting somebody, killing somebody. Did any of those things happen to those smugglers that you caught when you said they got their feelings hurt?
I believe when I use the term feelings hurt, that could literally mean hurting someone's emotional feelings and sometimes other things, but we were not involved in any acts of violence against those traffickers.
By the way, you can watch Kyle's full 30-minute unedited interview with Victor Marks on the next YouTube channel.
In a wide-ranging cabinet meeting Wednesday, President Trump said peace talks with Iran are ongoing, but the two sides haven't agreed on a deal yet. He also said he does not feel political pressure to end the conflict. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard claims it targeted an American airbase in the new attack in the Middle East. The Pentagon has not confirmed it, but Iran said it is the base from where the U.S. military launched new strikes. A U.S. official says 4 Iranian drones were shot down. They added that the latest strikes do not mean the ceasefire is over. Yesterday, President Trump suggested more attacks may come if negotiations fail.
They're negotiating on fumes, but we'll see what happens. Maybe we have to go back and finish it. Maybe we don't. The strait will open immediately, but it's got to be perfect. I'm not going to do this. I didn't do this to get a crummy agreement.
Overnight, the Trump administration announced new sanctions against the Persian Gulf Strait, authorities saying Iran tried to collect tolls from ships passing through the strait.